Hey, what's up, y'all? This is your boy, Mr. Bizu, and we're going to talk about the time that I got robbed. Getting robbed sucks. It's not a fun experience at all. It's very, very scary. It's dangerous, all that stuff. Yeah, there's really just no other way to say that. International travel is marketed as this amazing experience that's full of adventure, intrigue, and romance, and all that stuff. And all that stuff is there. I don't want to take away from that because all of that stuff can be found by traveling internationally. However, there is a certain level of, well, not certain level, there is a certain element of danger that you have to be aware of as well. You have to keep in mind that if you do decide to travel internationally, you are traveling to places that you really have no idea of what they're like. And so you kind of have to act accordingly, because if you don't, you could, find yourself in a pretty vulnerable situation. Which leads me into my story of the time that I got robbed. I was walking down the street. It was only maybe 7 o'clock, not that late at all. And on Christmas Day, that's the thing that really threw me off. It was Christmas Day, and I'm walking down the street and everything seems to be cool. And I noticed that there was like a group, a gaggle, a swarm, a flock, if you will, of teenagers, right? They couldn't have been older than like 14, 15 years old, right? And they all started walking towards me. Now I see them and I don't think too much of it. I keep going about my business. But as they're walking up to me, they start getting into formation, like they start doing maneuvers and stuff. I don't know what happened. I don't know, maybe they called out 21B, Delta or whatever. But they started to circle me, to surround me and everything. I don't know why I didn't pick up on it, but I did it until it was too late. So once I started seeing them move with purpose, I immediately I just started to tense up. Now I come from a boxing background. My father boxed, my grandfather boxed, taught us how to box. So it's kind of like a family tradition. So once I perceive this danger, my hands immediately, they go up. So I'm like, oh, what's going on? What's about to happen, right? And so while they start to move and everything, and they start to get closer, I see one of them, they look like they were pulling something out of their pocket. So I went to be like, okay, so this is the first one to catch it. And while I'm looking at him, I feel something grab my, a hand go into my pocket. And I was like, they got me. And as soon as they do that, everybody scatters, right? Everybody just goes off in different directions. So what happens next is something that I would not recommend to anybody. Do not do this, because this is incredibly dangerous and just foolish on multiple levels. Once they scatter, once they start running away, I go after them, right? I'm running after this gang of dudes, right? And I actually end up catching one of them. And I grab them, and like I said, these are kids. I grabbed one of them. He looked like he was 14 or whatever. And I'm like, yo, give me my phone, because now, the adrenaline's going, and I'm hyped and everything. And he's like, I don't know. Meanwhile, people are walking by. And I asked them yo, where's the police station? This dude stole my phone. And they saw what was going on, and they were oh, there's some cops, just go down here and go around the corner. You'll see some cops, they'll be able to help you out. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I take the dude down to the police, and there's some cops, they just kind of hanging out or whatever. And I'm like, yo, this dude stole my phone, him and his friends. And so they see it and they're like, what, really? And they take him and they start beating him up. They smacking him around. They got these sticks that they walk around with. They're beating him in the legs and everything. They're kind of beating him up. And it's weird, because I actually start to feel bad for the kid, because I'm like, yo, this kid's 14 years old. Now the adrenaline's out of me now. So now I can really perceive what's happening. It's damn, this is a 14-year-old kid. Even though they stole my phone, but I still feel bad because I'm watching this kid get beat up. And so, after they're done with their interrogation and everything, they're like, all right, everybody get in the car, we're going to the police station. So I'm like, all right, cool, right? So I get in the car, I sit next to the kid. we get to the, what was it, Kilimani. We get to the Kilimani police station, and there's a cop at the desk and everything, and he's like, what's going on? And this is like, and this is where things become tragically funny. So he asks me what happens, right? And he's like, I'm gonna write down your statement. And so as I'm talking, I look down what he's writing on. He literally like pulled out what looked like a grocery store receipt, and he starts writing some stuff down. And I'm just like, come on, man. Like, he's writing it down, everything's like, so then what happened and everything. And I'm just kind of like, you know, whatever. So I tell him what happened and everything. And I don't really question it because, you know, I don't know any better. So he's writing all this stuff down, and he's like, all right, man, check it out. We have your statement and everything, so now we know, you know, what happened and all that. However, there's a good chance you ain't getting your phone back, right? That's just not happening. These kids, they're from a rough area, so they probably ran back over there. And for us to go get your phone, we would have to get a couple of officers to go over there, and we don't feel like doing that. And so I was just kind of like, wait, what? Like, is that like kind of your job and everything? And he was like, but tell you what we'll do, right? You know, now that we have your statement, everything, we'll call you if we find anything or if anything comes up. And I'm just like, I don't have a phone, bruh. Like, that's why I came here. And he's like, yeah, good point. All right, well, tell you what, I'm gonna write my phone number down, and you just call in, you know, if there are any new developments. And he takes the paper that he wrote my statement down on, rips it in half in front of me, and he flips it over and he writes his phone number down on one of the pieces. And he's like, all right, so just call in and we'll let you know if we find anything. And I just took the paper and I just looked at it, and I looked back at him, and I just walked out the station. I was just like, okay, so this is what this is then. And that was my experience being robbed. Do I feel differently about Nairobi? Absolutely not. You know, does this give me pause as far as traveling internationally? Absolutely not. You know, I would never let this one experience, you know, taint the rest of my time there and everything. And I still encourage people to travel to Nairobi and travel to Kenya and just go abroad and take international trips, because you learn so much. But I will say that it's very important to always be careful, you know. I like to think that I'm pretty observant and I have pretty good situational awareness. However, you know, I just wasn't paying attention at that time, and these things tend to happen. You know, not even saying like, oh, I should have done this, that, or third. Like, sometimes these things just happen, you know, and you can't really, you know, plan for it. You can try to guard against it, but, you know, it is what it is. So, you know, to all my expats out there, be careful when you're out here, stay safe and everything, because this could have honestly have been a lot worse. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've heard all kinds of horror stories about, you know, about expats and just people in general getting got. You know what I'm saying? Like, this just happened to be my time in order to get got. And so I'm just very thankful, and I thank God that it didn't go the way that it could have gone. You know what I'm saying? And I'm really glad that the only thing that I lost that night was my phone. And with that, we're going to bring this video to a close. Thank you guys so much for watching. And if you're interested in hearing about my wild, wacky adventures in Kenya and just abroad in general, and if you want to get an idea of what it's like to live life abroad, then please feel free to keep tuning in, because we're going to be getting some more videos like this very soon. Thank you, as always, to Dienastie Eyewear for the shades and support, which I don't have right now, but I still got them. Thank you to Black in China for holding it down for Black Expats in China, and the Black Expat for holding it down for expats everywhere. I'm Mr. Bizu. Please follow me all over the internet at NNP Nation. That's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I actually have some really cool pictures on Instagram, so follow me there to see them, and follow the hashtag NNP in Nairobi. And with that, we're out, y'all. I'm gonna go get something to eat. Peace.